Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and welcome to another tutorial. And today we are going to be covering Bloom. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, I am going to show you. If you are new to this channel, I post video tutorials on a weekly basis. Software includes Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and so much more. So if that is your sort of thing, please consider subscribing. So bring out that creativity, open up that software, and let's go ahead and get started in learning about Bloom and how to implement it in Maya. I am using Maya 2024.1, and this is my magical calico girl, and currently she is just a regular HD 540 render. So this is what it currently looks like. My computer needs to be updated, but as you can see, it's slowly but surely rendering. I am going to hit pause so that you guys don't have to wait. It's going to be a little bit of time with me, but it's going to feel like a blink of an eye for you. All right, that only took 1 minute and 2 seconds. I'm going to take a snapshot of this by clicking on this little camera at the bottom of your render window and make it a little smaller and then making this bigger so we can see the full picture. Okay, so what exactly is Bloom? Well, have you ever watched games or videos or even photography and there's a light source and it seems to be emitting some sort of glow? You probably see it also when there is a bright background that it seems to, the light in the background seems to spill into the scene. That is known as bloom. So it is something that happens in real cameras and you have to turn it on in a 3D software. Now, don't get confused with fog. Fog will do something similar, but fog will encompass the whole environment versus what I'm going to show you, which is just anything that is bright and it will create bloom. All right, so now that we know what it is, how do we implement it in Maya? It's all in the render settings. So bloom is a post-process effect. So what that means is that the image has to render fully. So it's going to take about 1 minute and 2 seconds, and then it will add the bloom. So we're going to go into our render settings, which is up here at the top, which is the little clapper with the gear. Open that up, and we are in the Common tab. We're going to actually go to the Arnold renderer. And right now it's all the basics. So let's scroll down to the bottom until we see images. Let's add an imager. We have a bunch of stuff here, and one of them is called a lens effect. Let's go ahead and trigger that. And make sure your attributes is open. If it's not open, just do a Control A. And you'll notice that we now have this enabled, which means that you can turn it off here. So if you want to stop the bloom effect, you can stop it or turn it on. And my computer is already thinking really hard because, again, this is a post-process. So it's going to render the scene again, and then I will show you what these nodes do. Now, notice that there is a vignette and there's also a bloom. We're going to be focusing on bloom, but I am going to touch on vignette in a little bit. All right, so here it is completed. Again, I'm going to take a snapshot just for comparison. And the first thing I'm going to do is increase the strength. And right away, you can see that anything that has a glow or emission or anything that has a high specularity spot is going to have a bloom effect. So the higher the number, the more I can blow it out and it starts looking a little bit like a dream. So pick your range. Then after that, we have tint, as you can imagine, is to change the color. So if I don't want it to pick up the color of the glow, I can change the color. So for example, let's say I want this to be red, which looks kind of cool. And then we do have a radius, which increases the bloom even further. So if I want the strength to be stronger, I can really blow this thing out. So now it looks like she's has some sort of bad magical power attacking her or something cool. The threshold basically controls the concentration of the glow. So it's up to you how you want to play with that. And that's basically how it works. That's how bloom works. Very easy, very simple, gives you a really nice effect. So the next question you may be asking is, what exactly is vignettes? Well, so vignetting is the darkening of the border. It usually happens in photography because of the lens. Now, we try really hard to remove it when we're taking a photo. However, recently we've been trying to add it in, right? So we do it in post. So let me show you what that looks like. The first thing, though, we need to do is make sure that we have a background, because right now my background is black, so you're not going to see the effect. So let me bring in a background. Okay, so I added a really simple plane, and you can see that my bloom is really blowing it out. So let me go ahead and press escape to stop that render. And I'm going to delete this imager. So hit delete on your keyboard and then add a new one. So as you can see, here it is, looking normal. Then we can add a new one. So let's go ahead and add an imager lens effect. We can add a little bit of strength here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and let it re-render. So I'll be right back. All right, so there is my fully rendered. I just put a regular plane. I didn't even bother changing the background. And we have a little bit of bloom. I can change my bloom to a little bit of a teal just to make it more interesting to look at. And then let's talk about the vignetting. So it's very simple. You just have to increase the vignetting and you can see that it starts automatically darkening the borders. So you can make it a little bit subtle or you can make it really significant, but that is how you can get a little bit of a vignette. So again, this is a post process, which means that it happens after everything gets rendered. And then you can see the effect of this lens effect. I'm going to reduce it just a little bit. And of course, we do want to add, well, maybe a little more. What do you guys think? Maybe increase my strength of my bloom to really enunciate it. Let's do this as a 6. And there is a lot of noise on the render. And of course, I need to increase a lot of my settings to get a nice render. But as you can see very quickly, you can get a really nice effect. So you may be asking, well, how do I get that effect with a light, like fog, for example? Did you get the fog effect? Well, let me show you. All right, let me show you what it looks like with a light. So I'm going to use a regular point light. So create light, point light, and I bring it in. Just put it in this corner. I'm going to increase my intensity. Then I'm going to go into my render settings and I'm going to scroll down until I see environment. I see atmosphere. Click on this little checker and you're going to create an atmosphere volume. You're not going to see anything until you turn up the volume. And then you can see that, or the density, and you can see that we now have a light source. I'm going to hit stop and just kind of lift this up a little bit. That is affected by the fog. If I click on this, if I increase the density, you're going to notice that the fog gets more intense, and so does the light. But remember, this is because of the post-process of bloom. So we do have to remember that bloom is also affecting this. So if I hit stop and go back down here and turn off bloom, you can see how the fog is affecting this light. Now there's ways to control this, and I have a video tutorial on that, so I can post it down below so you guys, or up here at the corner, and you guys can see it. But basically, if you want to make it look like fog, you want to make sure that you use atmosphere fog. But if you just want to use something that makes your emissive maps look even brighter, then I would recommend that you use a lens effect. So there you go, everybody. Let me bring back the dome. And it's all very, very shiny. So let me go ahead and press stop and just go ahead and get rid of this spotlight. This little point light, I mean. And that is how you can use the lens effect to create vignettes and how to use bloom. So hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you did, please like and subscribe. That is your message to me, letting me know that you like this content and that you want to see more. If you think this video is helpful, please share with somebody. So maybe you have a friend that could really make their magic look more magical or make their environment look more bloomy, then please share my video. That would help me out. It will also make the YouTube logarithm gods very happy. Don't forget to take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. There you can find free 3D models, ebooks, and so much more. So take a look at academicphoenixplus.com and also take a look at my e-courses. I do have some e-courses for you guys, and it would be amazing if you can purchase 1 or 2 to help me support me and my channel. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Keep creating, and I will see you next time in the next tutorial.